Onda Magazine presenta.
¿Qué onda, Houston? For more than 30 years, ¿Qué onda Magazine has been telling the stories of Houston's Latino and Hispanic community. And today is no exception. We have another high-profile Latino here with us, and we're pleased to welcome here with us Arturo Michel, the City of Houston attorney. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. I know you're very busy with everything going on, but thank you so much for being here and shedding light on your role.
Yeah, I'm happy to do so. What can I talk about? What can I answer for you?
Tell us about your day-to-day. I imagine that no 2 days look the same. Tell us, what does your day-to-day look like?
You know, the main thing a city attorney has to do is to make sure that you're putting the resources toward what your mayor and city council are focused on. So it's part of it is anticipation, part of it is making sure you understand what they're saying and putting the resources toward there so that the legal team is working on the right things.
Exactly. Oh, that's a lot of responsibility in your role. Any challenges that maybe you want the public to understand about your role?
You know, there are a lot of, like you will hear our mayor say we're broke and we're the only city under a major revenue cap. So we have to just pull our resources, and we spend a lot of time focusing on the essential things, whether it's public works. The mayor has a big emphasis on public safety, fire, police, and that's what we're doing.
Exactly, and I know you have several years of experience, right? You're not an unfamiliar face to the government here.
Yeah, I was a first city attorney under Bill White. I served 4 months under Mayor Parker. She asked me to stay on until she appointed a successor. Mayor Turner asked me to come back for his last 3 years. His first city attorney had taken a job heading up a nonprofit, and now Mayor Whitmire has asked me to stay on. I'm very pleased to be working under Mayor Whitmire.
That's great to hear. And do you want to tell us about maybe your proudest legal battles or legal, accomplishments?
Oh, there have been a lot of things over the years. I've always worked in public law. I've worked a lot with HISD. For example, I was the lawyer who made the change to change the names for the Confederate schools, to other names for HISD.
That's
I've done a lot for Houston Community College, and for the city of Houston. So, it's been various things, but like any other lawyer will tell you, you're part of a team.
Yeah, especially one thing that we want to highlight is that you're bilingual. And what is the city doing to improve language access when it comes to the city's legal services?
Well, anytime someone contacts the city attorney's office, we always make sure we have someone who can speak to them in their language, and whether it's Vietnamese, whether it's Espanol. And so I think it's very important to have the access. Houston is a growing city.
Yeah.
It's accomplished a lot. And so we think it's important to be able to move things forward.
Exactly. And I know, the city of Houston has dealt with several controversies, but what is your decision? What is your approach to dealing with to ensure that there's transparency and accountability?
Well, it has to be practical. For example, we're dealing a lot with the ICE issues, with the immigration issues. HPD is doing quite a bit. In fact, they've made changes, which has been great, and we're doing it. Council members are moving forward with ordinances. We're trying to incorporate all of that. But I think at the end of the day, you will find that Houston is a model city when it comes to treating people fairly and complying with the law.
Exactly. Thank you for saying that. And what is your approach when dealing with differences of legal opinion? Because, something that comes to mind is that a lot of council members, they're attorneys also themselves. And when bringing these proposals, they bring powerful arguments. But what is your approach when dealing with that, especially when there's a lot of public support,
Right.
especially with the ICE things?
Very good question. I mean, lawyers have different opinions. You try to look at that. I always try to incorporate what they're saying and provide the best advice. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm the one who's speaking for the city legal position. And I have always felt that our council members give me that support. Even if they're lawyers arguing against me, they'll give their best argument. And I think they do that in part because I incorporate what they're saying.
Amazing. Thank you for saying that. And when dealing with policing, I know some communities have brought up controversies with the police, I guess. What is your role, the city attorney's role, in dealing with officer misconduct and accountability when it comes to that?
Well, there are times when the officers have crossed the line, and we've had that with Harding Street. and and they have been they've been prosecuted and so on. At the same time, I want to make sure that when the officers are doing the correct thing, that we're supporting them. And I think that's very important. I think the Houston community as a whole supports its police officers. They want safety, they want certainty. And so we try to make sure that we're providing the good legal advice that they need.
Thank you. And, the legal world can be intimidating for the public. What do you want them to know about maybe the resources at City Hall and here at City of Houston?
Well, I want them to know that if they don't understand something legally, they just need to reach out to the legal department. We have a website you can call. You will be placed with someone who can help you answer the questions. I mean, there are no bad questions. I mean, people have... Every jurisdiction is different. You may come here from a different area. You may come here from a different country. You need to know how Houston is addressing it. You may not like it, but you can have that dialogue with us.
Thank you. That's something very noteworthy, so make sure to put that in your notes. Thank you for saying that. And I want to talk about, a lot of Houstonians bring basic needs. They voice them into city council, and one of them is rising housing costs. What steps is the city taking to make sure that there is housing affordability, and also ensuring that people can live in a decent place, right? I know there's ordinances that have been brought to the table.
Yeah, we have an apartment inspection ordinance that is coming forward, which is going to make sure that apartments actually provide a good living situation. We have a housing department that provides a lot of housing dollars for people. I mean, that is the big issue in America these days, affordable housing. I think Houston has done a remarkable job and will continue to do a remarkable job in providing that, in providing the resources and answering questions of people.
Thank you. With recent scrutiny over city contract and decision making, what concrete steps are being taken to rebuild public trust?
Well, we've had some issues where people have taken money, they've stolen money. Their people have been convicted. The city immediately turned around and put forth that information. And I think there's been a big emphasis on transparency in terms of showing how we do contracts, the whole process, so people understand it, so there's a certain sense of fairness there.
Thank you so much, Arturo Michel. You brought so much light to a very complex topic, like we say. I mean, for me, I'm not a legal person, but I'm here to ask you questions, and we appreciate your time here. And I want to ask you, with you having such a high-profile job, right, any advice that you may have to young Latinos aspiring to a position such as yours?
Well, I would say follow your passion, get involved. There are a lot of people I came to Houston from the Chicago area years ago, 40 years ago. And I have met so many people who've been mentors, who've been willing to help. There are people who want to help you. If you show what your interest is, people will help you, and they will help you grow, and you will succeed.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Anything you want to add about, all of your experience that you have?
I think that just at the end of the day, if you get involved, if you get together with your community, with people, if you give your voice to what you're trying to do, you will be more fulfilled, you will have a great job, and you will help this city. This city is at the top of cities in the world. It's got, even though, great potential, and it can be even more if people just pitch in.
Thank you. No, well, this has been a great interview.
Thank you.
If you have anything that you want to say to the Que Onda magazine audience, we have a lot of Hispanic and Spanish-speaking communities. Anything that you want to say to them?
I would just say that we value you, this community. If you just drive around, if you look around, this community provides so much. And because of the people who give their blood and their life and everything else, please continue.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Arturo Michel, for being here with us, the City of Houston attorney. Thank you. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you. Same here.
Bye. Hasta luego.
Adiós.
¿Qué Onda Magazine presentó